Hello, thanks for watching this video. My name is David. I'm a life coach and I try to help people heal from different kinds of trauma. Thanks for joining me with this video today. I'm going to talk about brain scans and how they detect personality disorders in the cluster B. Before I do, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Vote up or down, let me know why, what you think, ask questions, share this video. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. So, I've talked about different parts of the brain and what's going on with personality disorders and trauma, things that we've experienced if you're watching this video. And I got a lot of good feedback. This is quite a while ago, and I've had a lot of people ask me more questions and do more videos about the brain or brains and what's going on. I'm going to talk today, like I said, about personality disorders and how scientists are able to detect these in brain scans. And I think my next video will be talking about ptsd, emotional trauma, and how it affects our brains as well. I hope you guys find that really interesting, so stay tuned for that. So, I talked about this before. Dr. James Fallon, a scientist, he's a neuroscientist, studies the brain. And it's a really interesting story. I encourage all of you to look it up on YouTube, Google it, read it, watch it. I think it's just really, really interesting. He's a very interesting person. And his story he tells is extremely interesting. For me, not everybody, but I think most of you that watch this might find that interesting. And so I'm going to give just a brief overview. I'm not going to dive into it. Like I said, you guys can go look that up yourself. Dr. James Fallon, F-A-L-L-O-N. So as he was studying these PET scans, they're called PET scans, brain scans, he noticed patterns, and he studied them for different reasons, different diseases and illnesses, but he couldn't help notice a pattern of psychopath. And he noticed by doing these brain scans, he needed some normal brain scans to compare these others that he had. And so he took brain scans of his entire family, including himself. And as he looked at these brain scans, one popped out at him, and he said, "Wow, this one's definitely a psychopath." And it was his own. So he discovered that he's a psychopath on his own. Very interesting. He has the same brain scan as psychopaths. And everyone in his life, after he realized this, everyone in his life agreed that he lacks some empathy, doesn't really connect with people, glib, charming, funny, interesting, things like this, that people with antisocial personality have. His reaction to all of it, finding it all out, is, I didn't care. Interesting. Now, I've watched specific videos where his family even comes on and talks about him, and they say still he's a great dad. Zero abuse, things like that. Just more likely to, when it really comes down to like a funeral or something, he might skip out. Things like this, okay? Not a psychopath. He would not be diagnosed as having antisocial personality disorder. In fact, he's called what's called a prosocial psychopath. To be what we know as today's psychopath, he needed a trigger. People need a trigger. These are things we're finding out. So, psychopaths are there's two parts really. They're born with a specific brain that doesn't fully develop, and there's less functioning in the brain in specific areas. And then there's a trigger in their life, someone that abuses him, teaches them to be a bad person, these kinds of things, and it triggers that. It's kind of similar to schizophrenia. But Dr. James Fallon never had that trigger, had a very nice family, stuff like this, and he's also a decent human being and father. So just that alone shows that there's a genetic makeup, there's upbringing or environment, and also culture has a lot to do with what forms who we are, okay? So what he noticed in psychopaths specifically, and I'm going to mention the areas of the brain. I'll kind of show you where they are. It's kind of difficult to do that. But he noticed that in psychopath brains scans, there is a damage or little to no activity in specific areas. One is the orbital cortex back here, and that is psychopathic killers, serial killers. Have nothing there. Literally, you do a brain scan, and the activity that shows on brain scans is the blood flow. And these specific areas that are highly functioning in healthy humans, there's literally nothing there. It's like a dark hole, no activity in killers. And that's your cognitive processing and decision making. The amygdala, he notices, is shrunk. That's deep inside here. We've got a brain stem that kind of looks like this. Almost every animal has a brain stem, specifically reptiles and stuff like this. That's all they have. And then there's another part of the brain called the mammalian brain that mammals have. And then there's another part, or cortex, that's human. Okay? These kinds of the parts of the mammalian brain and human brain are affected. The amygdala is shrunk, which controls our emotions, things like this, ethics, morality. And then the insula also has no functioning, which regulates emotion too, regulates emotion as well. I find that very interesting. So less brain activity based on blood flow. Narcissists can also be detected. Narcissistic personality disorder. I find that really interesting. Narcissists, as we know, they lack empathy. And they have, according to MRIs now, less activity, less brain matter, and less developed is the medial cortex for cognitive functioning, left anterior insula, and parts of the prefrontal cortex, which regulates our emotion, the insula, cognitive functioning, knowledge, which is like reasoning, memory, attention, language, all information that we take in. These kinds of things are affected. Little to no activity in these parts of the brain. Narcissists can be detected by brain scans. I find that very interesting. Harold M. Kronosberg, MD, professor of psychiatry at Mount Sinai School of Medicine, says that individuals with borderline personality disorder are unable to activate neurological networks that would help to control their feelings or regulate their emotions. The anterior cingulate cortex, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, the intraparietal sulci, these are things that regulate our emotions, and in healthy people are very active. In borderlines, no activity at all, and may sustain that. And also control and regulate our behaviors, our behavioral responses, emotional response, behavioral response. And this gets people with borderline in a ton of trouble. And it's very sad. It's very sad. It's not just how we were raised, but now brain development occurs through the entire child's life. Our brains don't even stop growing for most of us maybe until we're 25. Our personalities start to develop as we become adults. And I think that, I've studied child development. I've labeled these disorders maybe incorrectly, but my opinion is very developmental. And I know doctors will say that there's a genetic predisposure to these things, and that it matters how you were raised in a culture. But if brain development is occurring throughout our life, and you take things like empathy, like the narcissist lacks empathy, I use this example quite a bit. And those of you who have or have witnessed, noticed, known classmates in high school that were bullies, mean, right, lacking empathy. And you might see them later in college or in your 20s, see them again, and they seem like good people. They're nice now, they got empathy, and that really shows how crucial development is way into your teens and into your 20s. That person, these people that were like that in high school, they finished development. They finished developing empathy. We get to a certain age, it may be too far gone, but narcissists that lack empathy, sociopaths and things like this, they can start to understand what it is and learn how to navigate and hopefully have better relationships. I know lots of therapists and doctors and scientists that says that a lot of these disorders, that there are cures for them. I don't know, especially for borderline. And even borderline, a lot of it can just be maturity and growing up, which I think means that our brains keep developing. There's something called neuroplasticity. And we didn't know that even was a thing a long time ago. We thought brains have a hard time repairing itself, and they do repair themselves. They do. So I think that's extremely interesting, and I want to say that by using this new tool of detection, I'm hopeful. Through psychotherapy, medications, and identifying genetic links, that people with cluster B disorders can function better, and people around them will be less traumatized. That's hopeful on my part. And I'm somebody who has suffered gravely from narcissists, sociopaths, borderlines for a lot of part of my life, growing up in my 20s and my 30s. And I, like a lot of you, felt like, oh, these people need to be labeled and shipped on an island of their own, off to another planet. And we have to understand that we are society here, and we've got to look out for each other. Now, I'm not excusing any bad behaviors. I would like for all of us to understand the rest of us better. And I think labeling and shunning and stuff like this also isn't what's going to help all of you learn how to navigate for the rest of your life and avoid these people. It's not about hating and labeling and ostracizing, things like this. I understand you don't want to keep somebody who is manipulative and abusive and exploitative in your life, and that's a good thing. Good. This may force people with these disorders to look at themselves and have some introspection and maybe change some of these behaviors. Like I said, even narcissistic personality disorder, they may not have real empathy for the rest of their life. But it would be nice, wouldn't it, if the millions of narcissists learn what empathy was, maybe develop a little, maybe stop hurting people and realizing how their actions and behaviors actually affect people? I don't know. That might be false hope. I am very hopeful for borderlines, though, and it's a very sad disorder, very sad mental illness that I think society on the whole and individually can benefit from people with these disorders becoming healthier. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Please ask me any questions you want down below. I'll answer all of them. And let me know what you think and your opinions and stuff like this. Try to be nice, okay, and respectful. Thank you. Love yourself first, guys. I'll see you later. Anybody want coaching, you can find me at daviddemars.com. Thank you.